I'm here tonight to talk to you about imagination. You hear imagination all the time. We all know it's really important, but we don't often stop and think about why it's important. It's important because every single person in the entire world has an imagination. No matter where you live, no matter how many people you live with, no matter what kind of conditions you grow up in, we all have an imagination and we all have an obligation to connect with each other through our imaginations. Every single thing you see around you started with an idea that someone had in their mind. And the difference between what becomes reality and what stays in people's minds is how far people can take those ideas. So it's really, really important to remember every single idea you get will either die in your mind or it'll get stronger based on your ability to make reality happen and to connect with other people. So I've always been very interested in imagination since I was a daydreaming child, and years ago a little girl told me that I was the only adult she had ever met that made her feel like her imagination didn't have to die when she grew up. And so at that point in my life I decided to devote myself to creating environments in which people's imaginations could thrive and people could connect. And these environments are physical, digital, virtual, hybrid environments. So I left a card on your chair during the break earlier, and we're going to do a little time travel experiment. If you have a pen and you want to write on it now, you can. If you don't have a pen and you want to save it for later, that's fine too. And for all the people who are joining us through video, you can do this exercise at your own pace. Time travel can be very time-consuming. I know we only have a couple minutes. I'll try to get you back here so we can talk later. But I want to explain a little bit about the imagination age to you. It's a concept that I created to think about the time that we're living in now, in the present. So the industrial era, which lasted about 100 years, it is now dying, and you are all coming of age at a time when an era is dying, but you're still being educated as if that era is continuing. And a few decades from now, we're going to have the intelligence era, in which machines will be smarter than people. That has not happened yet. So this is the imagination age, and it's a time when all of you get to redesign the systems that you will be adults in. So when you think about a concept like the imagination age, and I'm telling you this to illustrate how ideas become real, how does something like the imagination age become real in people's minds and not just an idea? So last week, I spent the week in Brazil on a science house trip at the National Biosciences Lab. And the director of the lab asked me, well, if you have the imagination age and you have lots of other ideas stacked up against it, how do you know that your idea is right? Or how do you know that your idea is better than the other ideas? And I said, every time anyone believes in it and puts their energy into it, the probability of it becoming reality increases. So I'm asking all of you here to put your energy into this idea and into your own imaginations. There's a quote from a writer called Ursula K. Le Guin that the creative adult is the child who has survived. And so I'd like our little time travel expedition to be something to protect your imaginations for the future. So if you have a pen and you want to, write down or hold in your mind, either way is fine, something that you're really, really passionate about, something that you love, something that makes you wake up in the morning and connect with the people around you, something that you hope for the future. It can be anything. It can be a person, it can be a place, it can be a thing, it can be an idea. Write that down or think about it. And then let's think about 10 years into the future. So November 21st, 2021, it feels so far away, but that day will come, just like 10 years ago became today. We're living in the future now. Try to imagine what you'll be like then. Try to imagine something about yourself that you want to hold on to and grow for the next 10 years. It could be anything, anything. Try to imagine 10 years from now, what kind of building are you going to be living in? Probably an urban environment. The world is becoming increasingly urbanized. The objects in your life will probably be able to communicate with each other, probably be able to predict what you want and when you want it. Maybe you don't think you're that predictable. And if you don't want to be that predictable, you have to realize that now. You have to realize that every choice you make and everything you do contributes to the pattern of your life. And every time you have a crossroads in your life, you have a choice to make. Always remember that. What kind of world are you going to be living in 10 years from now? I mean, we have so many things happening that are scary. We have climate change. And we're here at NASA today. NASA is the best organization in the world gathering climate change data for us. How will you be interacting with that data 10 years from now? Will you be? We're here today because we're talking about science, technology, engineering, mathematics. It's called STEM. I call it STEAM because I believe the arts need to be included. We need artists to interpret complex scientific data for the rest of the world. Are you an artist? Are you a scientist? Do you understand math? Are you an engineer? Because engineers create every single thing we see around us in this world. What will you create 10 years from now? And then let your imagination wander beyond that. Think about the entirety of the cosmos. What kind of questions do you have? What kind of problems can you solve when you look out at the endless mystery of the universe or the multiverse that we live in? So as you embark on your careers and as you embark on your life, just remember that imagination is something that is private, that is in your mind, but it's also public. It's an obligation you have to connect with other people. And when you're looking for something to connect with other people on, you can always start with your imagination, and it will always take you in the right direction. Thank you very much.